which of course led us into the main event, Anthony.
which saw Cody Rhodes face up against the Beast Incarnate Brock Lesnar, who is also a free agent, which no surprise there.
I thought it was interesting. They said it was the first time ever the two of them had wrestled each other. I'm not sure why I found that a wee bit surprising, but I did. But anyway,
I can see that.
Yeah, I suppose, mind you, because Cody was there for a while before he went to AEW and all that. But
but he was at
the other end.
It's almost the crossover of when the UFC time that Brock was at UFC. That was sort of like that. How can I say, those group of guys, Cody, Ted DiBiase Jr., McIntyre's first run.
In some trouble at the moment.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. He'll be paying back a few people for a while. Those guys, when they come in, they were almost like the second coming of Evolution. By that point, Brock had gone.
Yeah, probably.
He was in the UFC. So I think there's a lap over there but it's good to see them work against each other. It was an interesting match.
I loved the way Cody started because it's very un-Cody-like, if I can say that. I think he got caught out the ring, huge attack, the announce desk, the steel ring steps, the chairs, the vicious repeated shots. It was really, really good, and they finally get in and they start, and he catches them with a couple of disaster kicks and all the rest of it. And then, of course, there was about 8 suplexes from Brock. But interestingly, you don't often see Brock bust open.
Well, we sort of thought it might have been Hardway, and then at the end of the match, you saw him, and it was a cut.
Yeah, it was a cut.
So I reckon he was cut, and then he's hit his head, and you see him, he slaps himself in the head. So I reckon the cut happened earlier. They vassed it in the back, and then the first got happened pretty early. Oh, well, early-ish. The first real head trauma he copped, right? It could have even opened up on the stairs, probably, if it was possible, if they hit it the right way. But that's what I think's happened. I think they've vassed it, and then he's wiped the vass off and caused it to open up. And it really opened up. It looked good.
Oh, gee, he can bleed.
Yeah, he bleeds well. Yeah. No, that's right. Good sausage guy like that. So,
but interestingly, I thought that the really interesting thing for me here was he did the job, but I think he did the job because, and the more I thought about it, the more I thought maybe I'm right, but I might not be. But it was to give Cody another big notch in his belt, another bit of credibility before he actually takes, be it the new belt or Romans or whatever. But I think they did it to put Cody over in such a way that when he does get the belt, I
don't think it was Brock's idea.
Sorry?
I don't think it was Brock's idea. But whoever convinced Brock to do it. But whoever convinced Brock to do it. If I was getting
$2 million to get the shit kicked out of me, I wouldn't mind either.
Brock wouldn't be happy about losing.
Brock but the fact that he did.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's the right thing to do. Cody, that's the right thing to do for business.
Yeah, absolutely.
And even the finish of it was where he got pinned out of his own hold. That would have been Brock's idea, so it didn't make him look bad. He didn't lose 1, 2, 3. Because I think he's got the non-lose clause the same as The Rock has. No job, right? So I think that it's good for business, though.
I thought that was excellent. I really thought it really, for any doubters or those who thought, Cody's just going to come in and get handed stuff. He's had a few very good matches with Seth. He's now done this Brock thing.
The Brock thing gives him more credibility.
He's got the legitimacy now.
The Brock gives him more credibility.
Big
because he didn't really beat Brock as far as put him out 1, 2, 3 with a nice clean pin, but he outsmarted Brock.
Yeah.
So size is not, and a guy that's 6'1" or 6'2" at 220, he's small in that world of the heavyweights, right?
Well, Brock's 286.
Yeah, and like I said, Cody's small, right? If you look at the rest of them, smallish. Yeah. But he used his brain and outsmarted Brock and beat Brock like that. So, that opens up that he can beat anyone anytime by outthinking them.
And I think also the opening where he, and obviously he had reason to want to attack him and but I think that also shows he's got a bit of the mongrel in him as well.
It's good psychology too.
Yeah.
He understood how dangerous Brock Lesnar is. If I don't jump on this guy early, if you don't show that kind of aggression or that kind of fear towards your opponent when you wrestle, then the opponent you actually put the opponent over by doing it. Because you're showing fear, you have to be aggressive, everything else to try and beat him because you're worried that he can beat you. So to the fan, he goes, "Oh, he must be attacking this guy because he's worried about him." Well, so you actually the psychology,
the revenge part, what he'd done to him on the previous Raws, etc. But I just thought it showed a little bit of mongrel, certainly a lot of smarts. And as you said, I think the credibility and the legitimacy now I think they can almost safely start, tracking to one of the belts. And from that point of view, it's good. And it's Brock Lesnar, so it's a big win.
You think Cody? He's beaten Rollins.
Yes.
Right. He's beaten Seth. Oh, not Seth. He's beaten Rollins. He's beaten Lashley. Or not Lashley.
Yes.
Oh, he has beaten Lashley, and I think he's beaten Lesnar now. And he really had Reigns on the ropes and beaten. He got ripped off.
Yeah, he got ripped off.
So his credibility is looking pretty good. And then if you look at all these guys, who they beaten just recently? Omos. So they've all beaten giants. So technically, Cody's a giant killer.
Well, you need to build him up to that point so that when he gets the belt, But I thought the match was average in a lot of respects, but the psychology.
That's Brock Lesnar when he doesn't win.
Yeah, I know.
When he's not going to win a match. Yeah. Get out there, get my whatever it is per match, and I'm out the door.
Yeah, $2 million a match.
Yeah, there's no
2.5 per pay-per-view match, I think.
Is it?
Yeah,
that's not bad, is it? That's why he's smiling when he's getting beaten up. I'll be smiling too.
You could beat me up for $2.5 million.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Preferably EO Sky or one of them. But I'll leave Bianca Belair for Anthony. But was it me or did she look really off today with that big ponytail? That looked very, very it was quite noticeably unkept. I don't know whether the humidity played havoc with her, but did you see that? It looked like this bloody wild bush of hair, so to speak.
Could have been humidity.
Yeah, it does it to me.
I don't know if it's hers. Yeah, it does it to me as well.
Well,
is it all her hair though?
Even a horse's tail is kept better than that ponytail was today. It looked noticeably, because she's normally pretty well, for lack of a better word, groomed with the ponytail. But there were bits coming off it in the ring.
The referee had to swoop in
twice.
That's not real, is it? It's a weave. It'd be a weave, wouldn't it?
Well, they pull on it.
Weave horse's hair into it?
Yeah, but they pull on it a lot, so wouldn't it come off if it wasn't?
I don't know.
I've never had that much here.
Women have got some tricks up their sleeves, mate. They don't know how to weave that stuff in there. You can hang them off a cliff by it.
Yeah. Like in the old cartoons.
That's it. Not all the cave women had long hair. It was weaved with animal hair to drag them along the ground.
Oh, dear.
And
anyway. So what the overall, Anthony, your thoughts on that, mate?
I didn't know how that was going to go. I was half expecting Brock to kill him. I don't know what.
It wouldn't have surprised us. No.
No, wouldn't. I said that as well. Wouldn't surprise us, but once again, with the booking in WWE.
But so now we head towards the intro. I'm just wondering though whether like the next pay-per-view, which is that Saudi Arabia one, and even to some lesser degree this one today, it almost seems like the pay-per-views outside of America are just like a good house show, sort of.
They're probably sold. It's probably a sold show.
Yeah, well, it could be. But they probably do. Well, I was going to say their best work, but you know what I'm trying to say. In their own shows, in their own stadiums, because they announced yesterday there's a brand new stadium being built, and it'll be open in 2027 in Nashville. And that's where WrestleMania is going to be, 2027. And this brand new Super U-Butte, brand new stadium being built. So apparently Triple H has signed off on that. There's a bit of a side issue.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's if they're still around by then.
Who knows what will happen by then, but yeah.
You know, I mean, they've just been sold technically.
And I see there's only, is it 600 tickets left for that Wembley Stadium that AEW is doing?
600 tickets, that's all that's left.
Yeah, they said once they'd sold 60-odd thousand pre-sale. Yeah. And they reckon the general admin, for lack of a better word, as of this morning, I think it was certainly under 1,000 anyway.
Wow.
And they reckon it's the biggest crowd at Wembley. So I don't know. Did WWE do one there?
They did, and they got 78,000. Was it 78,000?
That's what I thought.
It was in the 70s.
Well, they're saying that this now potentially eclipses that figure.
Yeah, I think there's two reasons behind that, because they've improved Wembley Stadium since then. There's got more seating.
Because you're into the soccer, I'm not.
Yeah, so they improved it. They done renovations, I think, about 10 years ago. But also, too, I'm very, very surprised that though.
Because they reckon it's.
I'm not surprised, actually.
It's bought in over $8 million American. So if you're going to go and promote a card and you've sold $8 million worth of tickets, or the gate is about $8 million.
That's pretty good.
Now, obviously, there's going to be a huge cost getting everybody over there, accommodation, flights, food,
whatever the building
setup
wants for tickets and that kind of thing.
Yeah, but merchandise, and although it might not be as big, but you never know. But you'd still have to be coming out, 4 or 5 mil in front, surely.
Yeah. No, look,
not a bad night's work.
No, not a bad night's work. I'm quite surprised
they haven't
that many sales.
Any matches yet either.
No, and there's a few rumors, but what the rumors are, like, CM Punk and stuff like that.
Oh, I hope not.
There's rumors, but
well, there was one rumor.
Jesus, I can't think of anyone being that on their cards.
Well,
that I would spend money to go.
Nick Aldis.
Yeah, maybe.
There was a lot of talk about Drew McIntyre because him and WWE are big loggerheads over the new contract.
Is Nick Aldis
his contract doesn't expire for another, I think, 4 or 5 months, so he wouldn't be able to. So Drew's out of it, but they're saying they're miles apart on money, and that Drew will let the contract run out, and most obvious is probably AEW.
Is Nick Aldis at Impact, or is he just completely free agent now?
I think he's a free agent now. He left. He dropped the belt and he left.
Yeah, because he had issues with the NWA president.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name. There was a musician. Another fucking musician.
Billy Corgan.
Corgan, that's it. Corrigan, Corgan. So there's a few interesting things happening.
And look, I really am surprised that they're at the 60, 70,000 mark on tickets in England. Yeah. I am. I'm actually happy, to be honest with you.
And Jimmy Uso's wife, Naomi, is on Impact now.
Oh, is she on Impact, is she?
Yeah. Japan couldn't afford her, so she went to Impact. I shouldn't imagine they could afford her, but anyway.
Oh, look, I think that'd be hard. I mean,
and she had Sasha Banks there, and who was the other one? There was a couple there. Oh, Tamina, Sasha Banks, and someone else was there at Impact behind the scenes cheering her on. And
I think there's talk of Bailey making the move too once her contract's up. Yeah, so there's talk of that. I think, there's talk of that happening too. So they've lost probably, 3 of their 4 originals there.
Is that why maybe potentially they're bringing up all these women from NXT now, the champion, the tag champs, sort of try and get them up and running before they do lose some of these?
Yeah, because we don't know how long they're going to have Becky Lynch for. She's talking about having more kids and stuff like that. So she might go off into motherhood, might not go somewhere else, but go into motherhood. be a little bit more around her kid and that kind of thing.
I was trying to book Bailey.
Bailey, you tried to book Bailey.
Oh, yeah. The butt on that girl.
Yes,
This wasn't
plenty
for
of stuff in that trunk.
Oh,
This wasn't for professional wrestling in Pete's case.
well,
It's a version of professional wrestling.
Well, I'll tap out to anything she wants. Anyway,
it's an interesting time at the moment because if AEW turns that corner, they draw that kind of crowd at Wembley. I think. Look, the problem when you watch the AEW product, it's all over the friggin' joint, and everyone's doing table spots, and everybody's working out the ring, and a lot of the matches are similar. These whole ballroom and chop spots in the middle of matches and stuff like that. And I think that if somebody goes in there and has a little bit of a look at it and says, look, we need to do this and this and this around the show, but we need to keep that modern style happening.
It wouldn't take a lot to clean that up. It wouldn't take
a lot to clean it up, no.
The booking is just too haphazard.
Yeah, well, and then that's because Tony Khan books it.
Yeah, you got 150 guys on your roster.
Yeah, lots have got to go. You got to knock that down to like 50 or 60.
Can you answer me a question? You go, and I know this has got nothing to do with the pay-per-view, but we'll wrap this up quickly. But you've gone and signed up 150 guys. A lot of them had either been fired or let go by WWE or just wanted out of WWE. So by signing them up, it wasn't that you had to take them because you didn't want Vince to have them. They were already out the door.
Also, a lot of indie guys too.
So you've got all these guys. No one's really got much of a storyline going. You don't see the same ones. It's just all matches for the sake of matches. You got someone like Miro, he's
at home.
He's got one of the belts, hasn't been on TV for 7 months.
Yeah.
But he's one of your title holders.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, this is the problem with it. Is too many guys.
Yeah, way too many.
Too many guys, because you're not a training promotion.
And the other thing, sorry, Mick, is you've got to pay all these people. So you're paying 120 guys to sit at home and as a wrestler, and you would understand this better than Anthony and I, because you're a wrestler as such, but as a wrestler, you want to get out and wrestle. You want to go and perform. You don't want to sit at home and get paid and everyone forgets about you. Your name's gone, your reputation's gone. Out of sight, out of mind. Like, and then from Tony Khan's point, like, how many millions of dollars is he paying? And for nothing. Like, because you're not using them, you're not getting anything out of them. No. It's like keeping the electricity on, the lights on in every room of the house, but you only use one. You're paying all this money for nothing.
That's right. You're 100% right, Pete. You're 100% right.
I really don't get the thinking behind it. And it's not like, well, I have to have them all signed up because Vince wants it. They've all left or got the arse.
Yeah, look, if you were smart and you said, all right, look, I've got 150 guys and I only need 50.
Yeah, that's all you need.
Right, I only need 50. So I've got 100 guys that potentially have got talent. You send them back off in the indies and throw a little bit of money at the indies so they're putting on regular shows.
Yes.
Right? Because what has happened with wrestling today is that there's no feeders really anymore to the big promotions.
No.
Either the big promotions have got their own, like WWE has the WWE Center, right, where they train people out and they do shows out of and that kind of thing, right? But as far as the indie system is, how can I say, it's because nobody gets paid and it's run by anybody that wants to get in and do it, right? There's a lot of bad talent that gets produced. I was fortunate I got trained by George. I got fortunate I was trained by George. That's fortunate. I could have been trained by anybody. I was just lucky I got trained by George, right? That taught you how to wrestle properly and how to understand the business properly, right? And that was just pure luck, right place, right time, right? But if you're getting taught by somebody who got taught by somebody who got taught by somebody else, that the last time that they had someone that had been in the business and was a true professional was 5 or 6 people ago, that's been watered down. Right. And now you've got talent that doesn't understand why you run the ropes, how you run the ropes, why you lock up, why you don't lock up, why you stall a match, you know, why you jumpstart a match, why you don't jumpstart a match. Why they don't? There's no understanding of that. They see it on TV. They think, I was going to do what saw on TV the other night, and then you got a card now of whatever's hot on TV at the moment. Everyone's doing the same thing in the ring. If everyone watches Japanese wrestling, then everyone's doing Japanese stuff in the ring. Every match is doing the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
The creativity's not there. There's no point of difference. And we're all seeing the same thing over and over, so it gets boring.
This is where it comes down to in the indies, right? The old timers would tell the young timers, nah, you got to fucking do this.
Yeah.
No, this guy's doing that, so you need to do that. There's some guidance there. At the moment, there's no guidance. Everyone does what, and then if you're not happy with what this guy's doing over here, I was going hire a ring and do my own show over there.
Yeah.
And then you're bringing guys over there. You don't really know what you're doing. You know, you're going over there and putting on shows, but you really don't know what you're doing.
No.
You're actually then corrupting the guys with your thoughts because they want to be.
Wasn't there a situation here just very recently, Anthony? Some promotion here, some Mark put a show together and people got injured and there was all sorts of hoo-ha, and then they had to issue a public apology and all of that.
Yeah.
You know, because you know, and then the guys come out and say, well, he was a real Mark, and that. Well, why are you working for him?
Because it's a show.
Yeah, it's a show.
It's a show. I'm getting booked.
Yeah, but
you know, this is the problem with the system.
And I get it.
This is the problem with the system at the moment.
But
you shouldn't have to retrain.
You know, you can't because you called an old C because you're trying to say something.
Well, you should, as a WWE, you shouldn't have to have a development center where you're retraining people coming from the indies and trying to recapture. When they come from the indie circuit, they should be ready to go.
Yeah, they're not. No,
they should understand, but they don't understand the business.
No.
That's the problem.
No, they don't. Not at all.
And if you watch AEW, there's too many guys from the indie circuit that don't understand the business wrestling. Guys like Orange Cassidy, guys like that.
Oh, I don't like
right.
It.
There's no.
What's this bullshit where he just touches you? You know, like the slap.
Yeah, but that's an.
Or the hands in the pocket and he just touches you.
That's indie
like, really?
Shit. That's indie shit. If somebody put their hands in their pockets to you in an argument, you're gonna punch them in the mouth.
Or give them the biggest kick in the nuts you could.
Yeah, you can't defend yourself.
Yeah,
like
seriously.
You know, I mean,
everyone in the crowd's going, whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, like
it's hard to watch, and that's the problem with Tony Khan because Tony Khan's from that indie mindset. He's a mark. So he's the one that he's a good bloke. We go and have a beer together so he can do what he wants. As a wrestling promoter, you can't do that.
You can't be friends with them.
No, you've just got to say, okay.
It sounds horrible, but you can't be friends. You need to do what is right for the show.
That's right. What's right for business.
That's why you don't have anyone active booking.
Mm-hmm.
You have people who are not active but understand the business, who only care about putting on a good show that gives a bit of legitimacy and credibility and what works and what keeps bringing people in the door.
That's right, exactly.
And you use talent that can work, obviously.
Yeah. That's right.
Like, it's not hard. I was thinking about this last night, as stupid as it sounds. And it's not really hard to put on a successful show. You just got to make sure you've got some bloody good talent, some really, really good booking, and you know, you market it really well.
Yeah, that's right.
That's all it is. Good guy's a good guy, bad guy's a bad guy. You know, do your bits and pieces here and there and, you know, shuffle it up a bit. But effectively, good guy versus bad guy. Get guys that can work, some good booking together, some thoughts, some storylines, and promote the shit out of it.
Yeah. And also to a good foundation of somebody training people the right way.
Well, yeah.
That was, like I said, that's where I got lucky with George. Yeah. I got lucky with George. You know, his whole thing about wrestling was, was old school. So, and knowing your place on the card and knowing how to listen to the crowd and that kind of thing. Where now, I remember I was sitting in on a class that George had at his school many years ago now, was actually the earliest form of the MCW training academy. They used to work out at George's, which I said to him, why do that? Because you're only creating now a rival training school to yourself. But that's another story altogether. This guy from Ireland that had come over and teaching people, right? The first night, they were doing second rope suplexes.
Oh, shit.
First night. They need to learn how to take a bump. I said, can they take a normal suplex? Oh, that's not really the problem. I said, yes, it is. Do they know why they're given a suplex? Do they know why they're applying one, what they're doing with it, why they're doing it? You suplex somebody that's generally quicker than you to slow them down, right? To punish them and slow them down. You just don't. The suplex was just a move, like DDT. You get dropped on your head. Let's say you're going to take a DDT, right? Say that every time somebody's going to give you that DDT for the first 3 or 4 times, you grab onto the ropes, you slide out, you show fear for the move. So when it happens, people think this guy's dead. Not just take the move, right, and then kick out of it on the count of 1, because then it's just no credibility to the move.
No.
So they don't learn none of things like that. Understanding how to make a move credible. How to get the other guy over by how you talk in a promo. You should never really kill the guy you're talking about on the mic.
Nah.
You should always say stuff like, yeah, I hear you're good. I know you're good, but you're not as good as me.
Yeah.
Oh, you've done some stuff. I know you beat this guy, that guy, and everybody else, but you can't beat me. But you're putting him over.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Cody did a bit with Brock, actually.
You've got to do that.
You've
got to do that, because otherwise, if I say to him, this guy's useless, doesn't deserve to be in the same ring as I do, doesn't deserve to breathe the same oxygen as I do, to quote the Ultimate Warrior, well, you're giving this guy nothing. You're giving him nothing.
You've bet nothing then.
Yeah, that's right.
You've beaten nothing,
Sometimes I watch these kids do the promos and I go, well, I remember that promo day we did, remember? Were you there on the promo day we done at George's?
Oh, George's.
How about, they're good kids, don't get me wrong. I like all those kids.
Well, one of them had about 17 shots.
Yeah.
And he had to go into the gym and rehearse.
Yeah.
Like,
just saying how it is.
Although there was one who was very good.
Yeah, there was one.
But he came out and he just goes bang, bang, bang. Oh, hey, I like you.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I'm saying is, but like most of them, they just don't get it. So it'd be, I think what the industry needs is a sense of where they're going to train people properly. I think that's what they need. Or people need to go and train with people who know what they're talking about.
Or invite, and I'm not saying for me or even for you, but just invite people who've been there, done it, to talk, to train, to try and get some of the psychology across, the understanding, try and get a bit more quality into your own performance, your presentation, even the makeup of the show to a degree. Like they won't have a bar of any of us who were there when it was quite reasonable.
It's true. They don't want to learn.
Doing it.
Yeah,
but they don't want to know us.
It's true. It's a bit like, well, you're from yesterday, so you don't know what today is. Well, yesterday we're doing okay.
Well,
what are you doing today? In all honesty, I mean, when I first started with George, we were doing the Melton shows and that. Yeah, some of those Melton shows were 300 or 400 people. Huge crowds from leaflets. But the shows, the first time we'd done the show, the next show there'd be a few more people there because the show was good, the way it was booked, the way the people did what they had to do,
No, it was a very different time. I mean, I've stood in front of 30,000 people.
Yeah.
In the show. I've done press conferences at Crown Casino. I've worked on, you've been there. You've sort of done it. You've been involved. You've worked with the Marios and all. We were, there's plenty to offer, but no one's interested.
Nah, well, maybe we should do our own thing, Pete.
Well, maybe we should.
Maybe we should.
But we're going to have to be exceptionally selective with who we pick.